In this sponsored tutorial, we're going to check out the exclusive add-ons for Elementor, the Pro version. This offers you 83 plus widgets and extensions, plus a bunch of other features we're going to cover in this video. It's a great add-on for Elementor that might extend your functionality just the way you need it for your sites or your client sites. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them down below. I try to answer the best I can. My name is Bjorn Allpass in WP Learning Lab. We help you get better at WordPress so you can earn more for yourself, for your customers, and for your business. If you haven't done so yet, click subscribe and ring the bell so you don't miss any future videos. Now let's get started. So this is the premium plugin we're checking out, exclusive add-ons for Elementor. There is a free version. You can see it right over here. I have a complete video walkthrough for all the widgets of the free version. If you want to check that out, it's in the description down below and the card up above. And this is for the paid version. So the free version, you get 37 free widgets and extensions. It says 36 here. But if you scroll down, it actually is 33 widgets and 4 extensions, so 37. And the Pro version adds a lot more. If we go to the pricing tab here, we see there are 83 plus widgets and extensions, and that includes the 37 from the free version. So it's packing those two into one, and we get 83 plus. And 3,000 plus font icons, 700 plus section blocks, and these are the prices you see. So I get 29 bucks, which is currently 40% off. Maybe it's always like that, I'm not sure. But right now, as I'm recording, it shows 40% off. So 29 bucks is for one site for 1 year, all the way up to unlimited sites. And this might be lifetime because it doesn't show for a year amount. So this could be for lifetime, 300 bucks. There it is. Lifetime Pro updates, lifetime Pro support. So this is the lifetime account for 300. So let's get into these widgets and extensions and see how they look. Let's click right up here. You can feel free to come to this page as well. It's exclusiveaddons.com/widgets. It's also linked to down below. And we went through all the free ones in that previous video that I referenced. And if we scroll down, we see Pro ones. So we have the general widget section where there are a lot of free options and a lot of Pro options. And then we have dynamic post widgets where there's some free, some Pro. Form widgets, one free, one Pro. WooCommerce widgets, all Pro. Header footer widgets, all Pro. Exclusive features, mostly Pro. So those are the ones we're looking at. I just realized this one appears to be free as well, which is something I didn't notice in the free video I made because it's a different color. And the new one, I can't tell if that's free or not. Either way, in this video, we will cover those two things as well. Let's go up and start with the general widgets, Pro versions. I'm going to open up 4 of these at a time in their own tab, so we're a little more efficient. Starting with the breadcrumb widget, which allows us to adjust and add breadcrumbs to pages inside of Elementor. These are especially powerful if you're creating blog post templates, where you can have breadcrumbs to blog posts. You don't often have breadcrumbs to regular pages, because usually pages are only one level deep. You have the home page and the privacy policy. You have the home page and the terms and conditions. You have the home page and your services page. Whereas blog posts tend to have categories and subcategories and then have posts in them. So it's more likely you're going to use breadcrumbs for posts, but that's not always the case. Either way, if you're making a post template with Elementor, these are very powerful in improving the design of your breadcrumbs. And they're very highly customizable. This is a breadcrumb style I've never seen before. But you can make it with this plugin. I prefer the more minimal breadcrumbs. This one looks too much like category buttons to me. I wouldn't choose that one for a breadcrumb. But this one right here, this one's perfect in my opinion. I'd even make this black greater than sign gray so it doesn't stand out so much. This one's quite nice. And the one I'd choose from this list, I think, is the very first one. This one right here. This is how, in my mind, breadcrumbs look. But that's not how it is in everybody's mind. But there's lots of options just in case your mind is different than mine, which it more than likely is. And breadcrumbs are very useful, so they're great to have in this plugin. And if you're finding this tutorial helpful, click the like button because that helps this video show up for more people on YouTube so we can spread the knowledge and help more people with this information. So make sure to click like if you like this video. Business hour widgets allow you to list your business hours in very nice styles. This is a heading style that comes with this plugin where you have opening hours in light gray behind it and then darker gray in front. I like this working hours over here. And this one too. I like it more when they're a little more contained. Spread out across the whole section is a little much for me. But that's totally up to you. It's up to how your site looks. It's up to your designing your site. It's up to what you and your customers prefer. And all of these widgets, the free and the pro, have extensive documentation. If we go to documentation here, we see walkthrough posts with screenshots showing you how to do everything. On the left-hand side here, we are currently in the pro widgets. We see a list of all the ones that have walkthrough posts in the help docs, and there's a lot. Probably all of them. I haven't counted, but I'm going to assume it's all of them. And for the free as well. So there's a lot of documentation if you need any help. Plus there's even a chat over here, which I think is more than just sales. They'll help you with anything you're having problems with the plugin. So that's the business hour widget. I have a chart widget. This is a very nice chart right here. Has a tooltip when you hover over them to show the data in the tooltip. Horizontal bars. These are quite nice. Something you don't usually see in Elementor plugins. I do like these overlaying line graphs. Gets a little crazy and confusing over here, but this first part looks quite nice. Just depends on your data, how that would appear. A radar chart. These I don't have much experience with in my life in reading these and what type of data looks best in these. But if you know and you put the right data in here, it probably looks quite good and visualizes the data so your followers and your visitors can make sense of it. Pie charts. I have experience with these. These ones are easy. Bunch of different charts. Comparison tables. Allow you to compare stuff. In this case, features of a free and pro version. And some download and buy now buttons. Here we're comparing, same idea, features. Comparing features again and again. I guess you're always comparing features, even if you're comparing dog breeds. You're comparing a golden retriever to a black lab. You compare what they have and what they don't have. They have 2 eyes, they have a nose, one has black hair, one doesn't. One is bigger, one isn't. So you're always comparing features to some degree. Then we have cookie consent counter, demo previewer, and floating animation. The cookie consent is important for alerting people to the fact that there's cookies on your site and they're consenting to those being allowed to be used. You've seen these pop-ups before, probably 100 times, maybe more. There's different styles for these to make them stand out and be unique. This one even comes with some good lettuce for you. This one comes with some flowers. A lot of flexibility now. You can design your cookie consent button. And we have a counter widget. These count. Counter widgets like we know and love and we've seen for decades. This plugin provides some different styles for you, different layouts. And of course, this image is not part of the layout. You'd have the the counters. You have the counters in the outside columns, and the center column would contain your image. Lots of different style designs. This one's rather unique compared to the others we've seen so far. I like this one with the icon on the left, gradient backgrounds. Basically, what we're seeing is all the different ways we can create this. Sometimes we're not limited by our abilities, but limited by our imagination and what we can think of. And having visual aids like this to show us different ideas is really important to get our creative juices flowing and think of cool ways to display things. The demo previewer. This is pretty cool. When you hover over these images here, it actually gives you a preview. Scrolls all the way through. So I assume you add a really long image, you add a featured image, that's the cover, and a really long image that's going to scroll through when you hover. So that's pretty cool. You can put it into a card like this, along with a filter. So you can filter just by different tags or categories you assign. There's different styles. They all do the same thing. You hover and they scroll through the demo. Here it is with a vertical filter instead of a horizontal at the top. think that's a pretty cool widget. One I have not seen before. And of course, I've not seen everything, so they could very well be out there somewhere else. And I think we get the idea. It's different designs. That thick border is kind of turning me off. But for some site designs, that looks fantastic. And nearing the end. So though, that's a pretty cool widget. Floating animation. As we can see, we have animating columns and images over here. This comes with 12 exclusively built stylish blob shapes. Let's see if we can see some blobs. No blob here, but we have stuff moving around. I think that's pretty neat. I like the subtle animations where there's only one or two things moving. I think those look pretty cool. And then we have image shape, icon box, image hotspot, Instagram feed. The animated shape animates this blob in the background, and I think that's super cool. The free version of this plugin also has a couple of these in the testimonial widget and in the info box widget, I believe. And here you can have it other places. I think that looks super cool. I've only ever seen these in the background of things. I guess this is kind of in the background. But what I mean is, like, you'd have text in a full section, and then the blob would be in the background with a gradient and do the funky stuff in the corner. But this is like an actual background of just the image, which I haven't seen before. And I like it a lot. This one's a square. The green border grows and then shrinks again. I think that looks fantastic. Icon box is a box with an icon and a headline and some text. Then you can adjust the background and font colors and the icon display and all that using the settings. And here we have icon boxes floating around. Here we have more traditional layout inside of boxes like that. Icon boxes have been done a lot, but they probably need to be part of a complete plugin package. People may say, why is there no icon box if it's missing? So it's important to have it there, even though it's been done many times. And I think we get the idea. There's different styles. Image hotspot allows you to add hotspots to your images. These ones are animated, which is pretty slick. I have not seen animated ones like this before. I've seen ones that pulse, kind of like this, but with a plus icon. I do like the animated tooltips. These are the most common ones, just a plus, and then you have a tooltip show up like that. Or on a map. That's pretty handy, putting those on a map. I've not seen it used like this before, where it's kind of like your team page. You hover over these. This is the one for the CEO. She's the head of marketing, and she is the head of design. Haven't seen that before, but that's pretty cool. These ones you have to click on. They do something when you hover, but then you have to click them to actually see them or see the tooltip. Instagram feed pulls in Instagram posts. I think that's pretty straightforward. Different designs, some with more data, some with less. And they all look pretty good, nice and clean. Instagram doesn't really send a whole lot of data over. It's really just images. This is the big thing on Instagram. If you hover over these, it has some hover effects as well. No gutter between the images on that one. Lots of different ways to display your Instagram images from your Instagram feed. And then we have MailChimp off canvas, campaign, and slider. MailChimp allows you to add MailChimp forms nice and easily. We can see one here as an example. We can see another one of highly customized button shape with an icon instead of text. So this allows you to easily make your MailChimp sign-up forms very nice, which are not nice out of the box. The ones you get from MailChimp directly are not pretty. So it's good to have plugins like this that can make it pretty. This one's actually pretty cool right here. It's simple and clean, but it also stands out and it's unique. And the off-canvas widget is a widget that is off-canvas. When I click here, something's going to pop in from some side of the page, from the left. As we can see, click on that and boom, click on the X, it goes away. We can have from the left, from the right, from the top, and from the bottom. You can have background images in there if you want. You can not have background images if you want. You can have them floating, these buttons. We see one on the left over here. If I click that, it opens a menu. So we can have floating off-canvas widgets. They can slide in. And this one is the title, style 5. So you can have it linked to on a title or linked to on text. Centered and floating like a big modal box. Big old menu system. Click here for off canvas. Another link text. Lots of different ways to execute that. And the campaign widget is something I haven't seen before. It's like a call to action on steroids. You can have this pop up here and it will have a call to action, it will have a countdown timer, and an opt-in form, which you can connect to MailChimp. Here's another one. Countdown timer, call to action, a button for more information or to buy. So it's really like a call to action. It just has way more going on than a regular call to action. And it's what I've never seen before. I've never seen a countdown timer built into a call to action like this, including the ability to add an opt-in form, like you see here. So that's pretty cool. The slider widget allows you to make sliders. Let's see what happens here. Here, that one slid to a different one. This on its own. There's no buttons. If I click on it, it doesn't do anything. But if we wait long enough, it'll switch. And you can define how long we wait. Oh, there are buttons down below. Didn't see that because I'm zoomed in. So there is pagination. But if you wait, it also flips on its own, if you have it set that way. Here we have the slider buttons down here. And the slider doesn't come with these images. You have to source those yourself and add the text and everything. It just gives you the option to slide through whatever number of slides that you want to slide through. Style 3, the buttons on the right and the left and the bottom. These don't highlight to show you where you are, which is pretty common for these kind of things, but they don't in this example. These ones do. So this slider has the ability to darken the image for the next slide and have a video on the back. So basically it just slides over top of the same video, which is pretty neat. And here's another example with a video in the back. You have different slides on top of the video. Here you see part of the next slide and the previous slide, depending which side you're looking on. And then we have one that slides top to bottom. That's pretty cool. Don't see that very often. With the buttons on the bottom. And more slide designs. And more. with big thumbnails on the bottom instead of the little dots or little dashes. So that's the slider widget. Definitely levels up a design if you use it with the video. Source code, team carousel, navigation menu, testimonial carousel. Source code allows you to add source code, but no, it looks good. Elementor Pro added a widget for this quite a while ago. I think it's like probably 6 or 8 months ago. And this has very similar functionality. It allows you to put source code into a page without breaking the page. It has numbers for the lines, which is handy, and a copy to clipboard, which is also nice. And those are the basics of the design of each. You can turn elements on and off. This one doesn't have the copy, for example. This does, but it appears when you hover. So you can change how the design works. This one does not have a copy. If I click, it doesn't copy, but I can select it and then copy and paste it. So they all function about the same way, just the designs look different. Here we have 2 different sides. This is the code. This is the output. This doesn't run dynamically. You couldn't type in code here like you can on CodePen, for example, and then have it execute over on this side. But you can have 2 different columns and say, this is what I put in, this is how it executes, and just show it as a static image or a static widget on your site. And just a bunch of different styles of the same stuff. The team carousel is just what it sounds like. It's a carousel of the team and the deforming blob in the back. I like that a lot. There's different styles for the carousel. This is a super pro design. You have these same team widgets in the free version. So this exact widget here is in the free version. It's just not in the form of a carousel. If you want to see what the free version entails, there's a link in the card above and the description down below where I walk through the entire free plugin and all its widgets. And this team carousel levels up the widgets from the free one. And a bunch of different designs, as you'd expect. And I like this one where it's separated. This one, all the other ones we've seen so far, you see buttons and the whole row is a carousel. Whereas this one, the carousel is on one side and the buttons are on the other. I like that separation for some reason. I don't know why. I like this with all the overlaying stuff. The overlaying box with the name, the overlaying button for the carousel. And you get the idea. Lots of designs, lots of different ways to use the carousel. This one's quite unique. So is that one. So is that one. We're getting to pretty unique designs as we scroll down here. And these ones are back to not super unique, but still, depending on your site, could fit in just right. And the navigation menu allows you to add a navigation menu. And the nav menu is a pro widget from the pro version of Elementor. So if you got the pro version of Exclusive Addons, you might not need the pro version of Elementor because this gives you the nav. But Pro Elementor also gives you a lot more stuff, so maybe you still need that. But if you use Exclusive Addons, then you have 2. You'd have the Elementor version of the nav menu and the Exclusive Addons version. But if you have the free version of Elementor, you can get a nav menu using the pro version of this plugin. And it adds menus. This would be the main nav that goes usually in the header of your website at the very top, as we see up along the top up here. Here's one with the logo on the left. Here's one with the cool background image. Just a basic nav menu. Testimonial carousel. These testimonials are present in the free version as well, but not the carousel. I'm clicking and dragging and it's moving through other testimonials. The free version doesn't have that carousel functionality. There's another carousel. There's lots of design options. If you have lots of testimonials, this would be a fantastic addition to your site. There's also an argument to be made that you just want to have the testimonials listed out without a carousel, if you have the space for that. Lots of unique looks. This one's very standoutish, highlighting each testimonial on its own instead of having multiple in a row. I like this one with a little image on the right. Of course, the image doesn't come with it. They've made one column for the testimonials, maybe two in this case, and then the image goes in the column on the right or as the background. And then we get into the login form, table, social share, and image mask. The login widget does what you'd think, provides a login form, which you can put anywhere. You don't have to go to the WordPress admin to log in. You can put this anywhere. You can even link to it from your admin, from your main nav. You could have a login button up here, which goes to a customized page that has the login form, which then allows you to log in with lots of different design options. You can have really fun login forms like this one right here. Or this one right here. Looks quite pro. Really, it's just limited by your creativity and what you can think up. But usually having your login form on one side and image on the other side is pretty pro, or having a big image that covers the entire background on one side with your login form in a column on the right is also quite common and looks quite good. The table widget allows you to have tables. Are they sortable? This one is not, but you can have nicely designed tables. This one has sorting right here. You can sort by name, by position, by age. You can sort ascending or descending, by salary. You can even have pagination down here, and you can change the number of entries. So this table has 12 entries. If I change this to 25, it's going to show them all, just have one page. Or if I change this to all, it do the same thing. Shows all of them, has just one page. When I change it to 10 or 5, it's going to have pages we can scroll through. And when you sort, it doesn't sort just this page. It sorts through everything. For example, serial number, we don't have number 1 over here. If I sort by serial number, now we have number 1. So it's sorting through all 12 entries, not just the 5 that you see. And we have lots of different styles for the tables. As you can see, I prefer the sortable ones because that's just something that makes a table useful, being able to sort the data. You can even search over here. If I search for Google, it just shows the Google entry. So if you have lots of data in your table, that search bar can be quite helpful. I also prefer to see the option of highlighting alternate rows, which makes tables easier to read. There it is right there, highlighting alternate rows. So it seems like a pretty complete table widget in the Pro version. Social share allows you ways to social share. We've seen these kind of widgets 1,000 times. But again, this is one where if you don't have it, people say, well, why don't you have that one? There's a certain set of widgets that plugins just have to put in, and you might groan and say, oh, we've seen these 1,000 times. But they kind of have to put them in. They can't have just the unique ones, because then people will say, well, then I got to get another plugin to get those common ones. So it's easier just to put those right into the Pro versions of these plugins, even though we've seen them so many times. Image mask widget allows you to add an image mask, supporting SVG and PNG. So you have an image in the background, then you can have another image overlaid on top, which then is the mask, meaning we can partially see the image, partially not. So here we have an image of this gentleman, and he's a complete image. His image is complete behind this overlay, which is either PNG or SVG, and it's applied as an image mask. And the parts that are transparent, we can see him through. So all the places where we can see him, including outside here in this little border, those parts are transparent, the other parts are not. And that's the image mask. Same thing here. The parts that are white are parts that are not transparent in the image mask. And these image masks where you're creating your own shapes, those would be something that you create inside of Photoshop or a different photo editing program. Affinity is what I've been using lately. And there are 63 different shapes built right in, but you can also create your own if you want to be extra unique. And this one's pretty cool, where it looks like the side's exploding. But that's just the mask. The image itself, the background image, is out to here, or somewhere past where we have these pieces exploding out. Image masks are quite cool. And then we have content switcher, image carousel, mega menu, and Lottie animation. The content switcher allows you to switch between two different types of content. So here we have a pricing table, and we can switch using this between yearly and lifetime. And then we have these info boxes with the animated globs, which I like so much. We can switch between version 1 and lifetime, or in this case, probably version 1, version 2 would be a better descriptor there. These info boxes, version 1, version 2, you get the idea. You're basically just switching out content, style 1, style 2. This actually be really cool for when you're working with a client, you want to present different options, like this menu for a restaurant. You could have a menu that looks like this, or we can go with this style right here. You easily switch between styles like that and have your client experience how it look like live on their site. So you can switch out any kind of content that you can put into the content widget. And you get the idea. There's only two. You can only switch between two things. You can't have a list of 5. Just 2. And the image carousel is just like it sounds, an image carousel. Click on the image and it scrolls or carousels or slides, whatever you want to call it, through the image options. I like these ones with the big thumbnails on the side. Here's what thumbnails on the bottom. The one that's highlighted is clear, the other ones are blurry. And it will slide on its own as well if you wait. And the time it takes you can adjust. And there's arrows as well, depending on if you want the arrows, so you can turn them on and off. Here we can see parts of the previous and next image and the main image in the middle. Here's the buttons on the bottom. Another one where you can see parts of other images. We have to click and drag for this one. We turn the buttons off. Actually, the buttons are right here. But you can also click and drag. And that one's quite large. This has the pagination buttons at the bottom, and you can still click and drag as well. These are pretty slick, these image carousels. I do like them a lot when they look nice. This one looks very nice right here. And here we have them just flipping in one spot. No buttons. They'll just change after a certain amount of time. There we go. I was clicking buttons because I'm getting impatient, but it changed on its own. We have another one. This one has pagination on the bottom. More with pagination. And yet some more. Lots of different styles. This one, you'll notice, goes one at a time. If I click on this button, it just shows the next image. If I click on this one, it shows 3 more. So this guy, he's going to be totally gone. All these guys will be gone when I click. Wait, that was wrong. That guy's still there. This time they'll all be gone. Just a odd number of people in here. So there's lots of display options for these guys. And this one looks pretty cool. This one's also cool. I like the vertical ones. You don't see those very often. Mega menu allows you to add content to menus. For example, images. These are also images, but these are logos in this case. You can also add videos to some mega menus, possibly to this one. You can highlight sections, add hover effects. You can even have these be vertical on the side somewhere. Mega menus are super cool. These used to be very hard to make back before, let's see, well, before page builders for sure, but even before WordPress 3, where you had to make your own menus. There were no nav menus inside of WordPress. If you made a mega menu before WordPress 3.0, it was super hard. Whereas now, it's super easy. You just get one of these add-ons and bada bing, mega menus. Lottie animation. This allows you to add Lottie animations. These icons are Lotties. This National Lampoon station wagon here is a Lottie animation. And I've got a video on Lottie animations, linked to in the card above and the description down below if you want to see how those work and how you get them so you can add them to a plugin like this. There are thousands of animations that are free to use on your site. They are quite cool. You can even make your own if you want. So that's all the pro widgets for the general widgets of the exclusive add-ons for Elementor plugin. For the dynamic posts, we have 5 different ones. I'll open all these in their own tabs. And again, for the free versions, I have a separate video. If you want to see that, it's in the description down below and the card up above if you want to check out that free video. The post slider allows you to slide through posts. Pretty straightforward. It shows the featured image in the background and headline, excerpt, and button on the foreground or in the foreground. This one's pretty cool. You don't often see posts laid out like this as a slider where you can see the old one and the new one. So it's just like the sliders we saw before. Very similar styles. It's just it is for our posts now instead of images or testimonials or what have you. Let's just scroll through if we see some real unique ones. This one's pretty unique because it slides up instead of sideways. That one's pretty much like the others. This one is very similar, although it has no buttons to navigate, but you click and drag to go to the next one. So that's the post slider widget. The post navigation widget allows people to easily navigate between posts. So you might have seen blogs where you have a previous and next button. That's these buttons. So you could have previous and next. You could have previous with the title, next with the title. Obviously long titles wouldn't work well here, but short titles will. And having these features can help people find more content on your site more easily. And I think ones like this, where it shows the title and even an image, or even like this one or this one, would do better than having just the arrow. In my opinion, I haven't tested that, so I don't know for sure. So that's the post navigation widget. The post carousel widget puts posts in a carousel. Similar to the post slider. Very similar, only it just seems to be a little smaller. And you have post carousel. This one looks quite cool. I like that one. I like this one too. A lot of data in there. And this one's quite nice. So this would be something you could put in an Elementor template at the bottom of your posts. Say you have making a post template. You'd have related posts show up like this. You can use queries to find specific posts to make sure the right ones are appearing in the right places. It's very nice. New Sticker Pro. We saw the new sticker in the free version, and this is the pro version. So we see examples here. We can go forward, backwards, we can pause it or let it keep on playing. We can have them to switch on their own. After a certain amount of time, we can stick it to the bottom of the page so it scrolls with us. Lots of different design options for the new stickers. But at the end of the day, it's just headlines of stuff that's either scrolling or being replaced. Author box allows you to add an author box. This is again something you'd put into a blog post template in Elementor. If you want to know how to create a blog post template, I've got a tutorial for that in the card up above and the description down below. They're super easy to make if you have Elementor Pro, and they are quite useful. Lots of different options for displaying your author box. So those are dynamic post widgets, and we have the form widgets. Gravity Forms is the pro version, Contact Form 7 is in the free version, and it basically just allows you to easily style these forms, which often don't look great out of the box, but they look great not out of the box. They look great when there's Elementor customization applied to them. And Gravity Forms allow you to easily add a lot more fields and even do calculations and stuff like that. It is a pro-only widget, Gravity Forms. So Contact Form 7 is much more popular because it's free, but Gravity Forms is very powerful if you use it. Then we have WooCommerce widgets, Woo Product, Woo Category, Woo Mini Cart, Woo Checkout, and Woo Cart. Let's Starting with Woo Product, we have different product style designs for the archive page of your shop. And now everything you see here is completely customizable. They're just showing a bunch of different examples of what you can do. And you can see they're quite varied with special effects. Like this one has a box shadow around the button, so it looks like it's hovering. And this one has major gradients in the background. You get the idea. You can customize it in any way you want to fit your site's style and your site's design. And it's going to be the same way for the other WooCommerce elements as well. The category widget here, this is similar to the product widget, only it displays the categories. And it has a number count of 0 in these. But if you have items in your categories, it would show the number count for those items in there. And this is a category slider. So if you have a whole lot of categories, you could have a slider widget like this somewhere in your shop. Or probably even somewhere just on your blog. Probably embed this somewhere like that. We see fashion here has 17. So that one has 17 items in it. The rest have zeros. On your store, every category would have something in it. Otherwise, you wouldn't be displaying those categories. There's lots of ways to display them. Don't often see a focus on WooCommerce category display like that. The Woo Mini Cart gives you the ability to add this mini cart icon in the top corner of your navigation menu and various designs for that. There's a little minimalist one. Here's quite a bit larger one. This one's quite small as well. But I really like these mini cart icons. And when you hover over them, it actually shows the items that are in your cart. So it's like a mini cart, as it's called. And it shows all your items in here, and then you can go to checkout right through here. This one opens on click. This one has a flyout when you click on it. I prefer that one the least because it's kind of confusing as to what's really happening there. I really prefer either the on click or the hover. So those are the mini cart options. Then we have a Woo Cart widget. This is the actual cart where you put items in your shopping cart, then you go and view your cart before you check out. And these are different designs for that. Your cart's currently empty. Let's see if we can add something in here. Let's add this to our cart, add this to our cart. Let's go back to our cart. There we go. Now we see better how the design looks. And it looks pretty much like the WooCommerce cart itself, but it does have some nice design tweaks to make it a little more visually appealing. And this one here, I like this one a lot. The normal one has your cart items all the way across and your cart totals below, like this. This one has them in 2 columns. I prefer that because you can see your cart totals right up here, and you can click on Proceed to Checkout above the fold. Those are 2 designs for that. And we have a Woo Cart widget. I'm just going to refresh again. This is the one we just saw in another tab. I don't believe we saw the Woo Checkout. Must have closed that tab by accident. So this is the checkout page for WooCommerce. This one's pretty default right here with your billing details on the left, your order information on the right. And layout 2 should be a bit different. And it has your billing details on the left, additional info on the right, your order info at the bottom. I prefer when the order info is right at the top, just like this first one, because it's maybe not above the fold, but pretty close to above the fold where you're actually pressing the button to order. Either way, those are 2 different styles for the checkout widget. Then we have header and footer widgets. Let's open these in a new tab. We have the search widget, which allows you to search for things. You just type in the search bar and hit search, and you're searching. Different designs for that. I like this one, but I think it should have a border because you can't really see the top. Kind of undefined up there. Maybe that's the look they're going for. I don't know. A lot of different search options. I like it when it's just a line, minimalist like that. That's pretty nice. Even though it doesn't have a bottom, I still understand that the search is above this line. Whereas this one has some shading on the left and the bottom, and my brain doesn't work like that. So I prefer this one the least, but I like the other ones. This one could be pretty easily tweaked though to add a little faint border on the top and the right or all around it. Those are the search widgets, and we have a page title widget to which you can do various things. You can add text before and after it. You have a custom icon. You can use HTML tags, add hyperlinks, customize the appearance. And like every widget in this plugin, it's fully responsive. So this page title that we see here, it's not really showing us a lot, but these are all the things you can do with it, which is a lot more than you usually do with page titles when they're added dynamically. Site tagline, we can do all the same things, add icons, HTML tags, and hyperlinks. And it basically is just the tagline that you put inside of the general settings of your WordPress site or inside the customizer. And the site title, similar thing as well. This is the site title that you can display in various places. We see it down here right below the logo in the navigation menu in Style 2. And you can do these things as well, before and after text, custom icons, HTML tags, hyperlinks. So that's pretty handy if you want to display your site title in various places. And then we have exclusive features, gradient animation, section particles, section parallax, header footer, cross-site copy paste, sticky, and glass morphism. I don't know if this is actually free or pro because it shows free, but it has the color of pro. And the frees are always organized so they appear in the top left and start there, and the pros follow it. Whoops. But in this case, it's not following the usual pattern. So I'm not sure if this one is free or not, so I'm adding it in here just because. So gradient animation is really cool because if you watch the background, don't watch the flying lines, but watch the colors change. The gradient actually moves. We can see it's red or kind of a pinky purpley on the right side. Now it's going lighter orange. So I haven't seen that before, where the gradient is actually animated. Here we have purple on the right, orangey on the left, and we see it's changing slowly. Now it's green over here, kind of a greeny gray. Back to dark purple. Don't worry about the tooltip widget or the team widget. We're really looking at the background, where the background gradient is changing over time. It's not something I've seen, but I like it. And these particles is also a thing too. It's the widget that's coming up next, I believe. We can see the particles respond to my mouse movement, which is pretty cool. Let's check that out. Here we have lines that are moving away from my mouse. I'm kind of bunching up over there. It's a pretty cool effect. Different color styles, different color theme, same idea. Here we have particles like snowflakes, and that's pretty cool. They're zapping my mouse cursor with the gradient background animation as well. It's hard to see in this case, but it still looks kind of cool. Looks like a little spider web or something. Here we have major changes in the particles as I move my mouse. And these are all customizable as far as colors go and size and design and everything. I don't see any particles doing anything on this one, so I'm not sure what's going on there. Here we have stars, and as I click, they grow. Maybe we have to click on this one. No, I don't know what the particles are on that one. But this one's pretty neat. Then we have section parallax, which adds parallax to the back, where the background image is moving slower than the scroll speed of the foreground. So it looks like we have two things moving at once. This effect has been around for a while, but I still like it. Then we have header footer, which is different styles for your header and footer that are easily selected and totally customizable. Scroll through these styles here. I like this one, especially for a business with an address and a phone number, where it has the contact info right at the top. Here's a nice big footer area with multiple columns. And again, these styles are just places to start. So you'd pick this one and then customize it to what you need. Just because you pick this one doesn't mean it has to be exactly like this. This is just close to what you want, then you customize it to what you need. Cross-site copy and paste. If you're building more than one website, you can copy from your site that you're working on in Elementor, just like it's showing in this little animation, and then paste it into a different site, which is pretty awesome. It's faster than exporting and importing templates. So there's definitely a great use for copying and pasting like that. The sticky extension makes any widget you want sticky. So we see here the image is sticky. So we keep scrolling. The right-hand column scrolls. The left-hand image does not. Until we get past this section, then it'll stop. It'll be sticky here for the header. Header's sticky this time, and the side menu. It's following us down, and that's the sticky widget. And the glass morphism effect adds special effects that look kind of like glass, like these cards here being glass and then viewing the background through the card, kind of like transparency, but a little bit different because it actually has an effect where it blurs it out, at least in this example. Here we have the same thing. If we had really translucent glass, we have this orange circle. That's a circle behind this section as well, but it's all blurred out because of the glass effect, which is pretty neat. Here's another example. And I don't really see the example in action on this one. I do see gradient background, but I don't see where we're having the glass effect. But I'm sure it's there. You see much more clearly in this example here, behind this outer box that's wrapping the team. And that's it for all the effects. But there's also templates. With the Pro version, you get over 700 templates. And these are just examples. This isn't all of them. As we scroll down here, you see there's only a handful, not 700. And these ones are full pages. But with the 700 plus sections or templates that we have access to in the Pro version, it's actually things like the team section or services section or the header section. Just a bunch of different templates you can use for those and then add those to your site really easily. And there's one more thing to show you that comes with the Pro version. It's harder to get to. It's not in the menu system as far as I know, but it's the 3000 icons. You can get to it from the home page by clicking on this card right here. And there are 254 feather icons, 2271 remix icons, and 600 plus teeny icons. And we see examples of those down below. These are the feather icons. These are the remix icons, which I guess is a combination of filled in and outline icons. And then we have the teeny icons, and there's 3,000 plus of those, which is quite a lot. And if you like what you see, come to this website and check out what Exclusive Addons has to offer and if it can help you in your business. And as for the pricing structure, right now you get up to 40% off. I don't know if this is a special sale or not, but as of right now, it's 40% off. And a lifetime license for unlimited sites is $300. So if you build a lot of sites or you don't like yearly renewals, this is probably the one for you, because the next option, the next lowest option is $119 per year for 1,000 sites. Chances are the 1,000 site limit is big enough for you, but then you'll be paying the renewal every year in perpetuity for as long as you're using the plugin. And the only difference between each of these paid options is just the number of sites. So the first one for $29 is 1 site. The second for $59 is 5 sites. The third for $119 is 1,000 sites. Those are all per year, and then $299 for unlimited. So if you like what you saw in this video, I encourage you to check out Exclusive Addons because it could be just the plugin that you need to complete your next project. Next up, you should check out this video right here, which is an overview of the free version of Exclusive Addons for Elementor, which contains 37 plus widgets and extensions for free. So make sure you check that out. And down here is how to speed up your Elementor site. So if you find your Elementor site's going pretty slow, which you probably do, check out that tutorial to help you speed up your Elementor sites. And if you haven't done so yet, click subscribe and ring the bell so you don't miss new future videos. My name is Bjorn Allpass from WP Learning Lab. Till next time, keep crushing it, and I will see you in the next video.